Hi, Puneet. It's a pleasure to be talking to you today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Shambhu, for having me here. Looking forward to the conversation.
Just as an introduction for Puneet, he's been in the industry since 1994. That's more than 30 years. He has been a recruiting leader for global companies where he has helped companies scale their talent across more than 20 countries, across multiple time zones, and across different languages. So, Puneet, once again, thank you so much. Today, we would like to have some insights from you, especially when it comes to mid-career TA professionals. Now, mid-career TA professionals are essentially the folks who have 6 to 12 years of experience, and they work in global companies, which have operations in more than 50 countries, and they have multi-billion dollar revenues. So, Puneet, we wanted to understand that you've been in the industry for so many years. What is the biggest shift that you have witnessed in how recruitment is actually done? And it is not just about tools, but it is actually about the approach itself.
Got it. In my view, the single biggest shift I have witnessed the way back 1994, I started my career, is the transition from a primary manual relationship-driven approach to a data-driven and technology-enabled approach. In the past, recruitment was heavily reliant on personal networks, intuition, and face-to-face interactions. I do remember we used to go, travel in a bus to meet candidates. So not at the luxury of, people coming to our office. Today, while relationships still matter, there is a strategic emphasis on leveraging data, AI, and automation to identify, to evaluate, and engage talent more efficiently and objectively. I think that's the important one. This shift has transformed hiring from a subjective art into a precise science. That's what I can talk about. Allowing organizations to make smarter, faster, and more equitable hiring decisions. Because in the past, we've not really had those technology or tools to assess talent objectively. But I think right now it's a totally different ballgame. I think, in my perspective, there's a big shift right now.
Absolutely. And Puneet, it's so relevant in today's world when, everything is being rewritten because of the AI. And as you said, it's become more of a science and less of an intuition and ad hoc and get very biased.
Subjectivity.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. So, Puneet, coming to the role of mid-career TA professionals, they have multiple touch points in the company when they perform their day-to-day task. So, what are they and how important are they today?
Yeah, I think, Shambhu, in TA, the touch points are numerous and critically important in my perspective. These include candidate sourcing, screening, conducting interviews, engaging with key stakeholders like hiring managers, business leaders, HR, finance, rewards team, especially compensation, HR operations, and also the TA leaders, because as the TA leader accountable for global recruiting, it's important for them to understand what's going on. I can say exit. There's many touch points for recruiters or recruiting organization. And each touch point shapes the candidate's perception of the organization. I directly correlate that to organization brand or company brand. That's one of the reasons it also impacts the quality of hire. They're essential because they ensure a seamless, efficient, and positive hiring experience, ultimately driving better talent outcomes and strengthening the organizational employer brand. In essence, these touch points are building, in my view, they're the building blocks of strategic and effective recruiting process.
From outside, it looks so simple and easy. But if you really kind of go beyond that layer, you see that these touch points are so important, and
Right.
communication from these mid-career TA professionals become paramount important. So,
Right.
so according to you, the criticality of getting them right, as a TA leader, how have you witnessed some of your team members who have been in this kind of role, and how you have kind of hold them, or how you have witnessed?
Yeah. I think it is absolutely critical because they directly influence the quality of hire, candidate experience, and employer brand. When each touch point is tailored thoughtfully and professionally, it builds trust and engagement, and also the positive perception of the organization. I can give an example. I do remember Jeff Weiner, ex-CEO of LinkedIn. He's always talked about trust. Trust equals to consistency over time. And that's so true for recruiting because when I meet candidates, I'm meeting for once is not good enough to build that trust. The consistency, the how we work and how we deliver is equally important. Contrary-wise, missed or poorly managed touch points can lead to top talent disengaging, or they take offer into other competitors' place, right? They really don't care.
Absolutely.
In my view, in a competitive talent market, precisely managing these interactions ensures organization attract and retain the best fit candidates. Ultimately, driving the long-term success is not about because we are not really thinking about the short term. It's important for us to really think from the long-term success standpoint. It's a difference between the good hire and the missed opportunity.
Absolutely. Big time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And Puneet, according to you, what would be the best practices, and what would you advise these mid-career TA professionals?
Yeah. In my point of view, the best practices I would recommend revolve around a blend of strategic planning, embracing technology, and maintaining strong human connections. First, I advise TA professionals to prioritize candidate-centric approach, delivering seamless or frictionless and transparent and engaging experience at every touch point. If you look at any product companies, example, right, they prioritize customer-centric or consumer-centric approach. For example, so no point the building beautiful product, but if a consumer not going to use, a customer not going to use. Similarly, if you're not able to focus customers candidate-centric, whatever you do, we're not able to attract high quality talent. It's important for us to, as a TF professionals, laser focus around candidate-centric approach. Number two, I think utilizing data-driven tools and AI can enhance sourcing or screening or decision-making and making the process more efficient and objective. Equally important is, in my view, is continuous upskilling. Staying updated with industry trends and evolving technology. And I think lastly, building strong partnership with hiring managers and candidates alike, that fosters trust and aligns expectations. I think in my view, these practices together create robust and agile and future-ready recruitment function that can attract top talent and drive organizational success. Because whatever we do, whatever the type of people we want to bring them in, that needs to align with company's objective. I think there's a few things in my perspective really going to help us to scale.
Absolutely. And Puneet, you touched upon very important aspect that relationship building is not only with candidates and also with the hiring manager. And as a TA global leader within your multi-country based TA org, you would have many TA, these mid-career TA professionals in your own team. And you would have witnessed as a global leader that sometimes the expectations of the hiring manager are not in sync with the reality. So what would you advise these like to tackle the situation without damaging the relationship with the hiring managers?
Yeah, this is a great question, Shambhu. I think I love this question because most of the time we go through this, right? And addressing misaligned expectation with the hiring managers, in my view, requires a tact and clear communication. I believe the key is to approach it collaboratively and rather than confrontationally, because most of the time what happens is we'll try to defend ourselves. That's not really going to help. I would start by listening carefully to their perspective and understand their needs. Then I'd share the data. I'd share some market insights, also realistic benchmarks to provide context. It's important for us to provide context is critical, helping them to see what is feasible and within the current talent landscape and also organizational constraints. What happens is most of the time, hiring manager wants to hire somebody from X company. Probably we're not able to onboard them because of multiple reasons. One is the compensation, probably scope, probably roles. I think it's important for TA function or TA leaders or recruiters to set those expectations through data. I think that's critical. It's also important to set clear expectations early and maintain ongoing conversations. I think what happens is not like one-time initiative, one-time activity. Oh, my initial calibration is done, then I'll keep quiet. Oh, I've given 10 resumes, my job is done. I think it's ongoing conversations are critical. So they see you as a partner, not necessarily rather than as an obstacle, right? As long as you're able to build that connect, as long as you are transparent, as long as you clearly articulate the current trend, what's going on, I think that's great. Ultimately, building trust through transparency and aligning a shared objective or shared goals help to resolve gaps. I think is equally important. It's not hiring is not recruiting job. We need to partner. It's a shared objective. So everyone is equally accountable to bring in the right talent to the organization. I normally use the phrase, everyone is a recruiter. It's a 20,000 employees organization. All 20,000 employees need to play the role of recruiter, right? I think that's very important. As long as the shared goals, in my view, it's able to solve those without damaging the relationships, right? Ensuring successful hiring outcomes for both the sides. Because at the end of the day, is we need to really think from the company first mindset.
Absolutely. And so, Puneet, I really liked that idea of collaborative rather than confronting. And earlier in the discussion, you covered about data-driven, approach, which has changed in recruiting. I think these folks can use the same thing to build a very robust partnership oriented relationship with the hiring managers.
So add here, Shabu, I think the important point here about listening to them carefully, right? Once we know their perspective, their needs, then we can have some time to really go through the right information in front of them.
No, absolutely.
Because most of the time what happens is when manager gives the requirement, the first reaction from us, hey, no, it's not possible. But it's important for us to set those contexts with hiring managers or business leaders to clearly articulate what's possible, what's not possible. Is there are many constraints. It's not about one piece of it, right? We can find any talent, but if we're not able to onboard, is absolutely you're wasting everybody's time.
Absolutely. No, that's so well said. Now, Puneet, the GCC ecosystem is actually booming in India. And, and most of the time, the hiring managers are actually sitting in a overseas location. What are the, two most important qualities that, a TA, mid-career TA professional should have to have world-class relationship with these hiring managers?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think in my view, TA professionals need to represent cultural sensitivity and cross-cultural communication skills that are essential to navigate the different expectations and also working styles effectively. Second, I think strong strategic partnership skills, like being proactive, transparent, and responsive is very critical. Help build trust and align recruitment strategies with their international partners, because important is not like one particular region, how well we articulate and communicate proactively, and also share our best practices, and they can share that with the international partners. Third, I think market and industry acumen enable them to provide valuable insight and realistic talent expectations, because somebody sitting in different regions, for them it's really hard to understand the market reality. It's important for us to really talk about what's going on in a particular region. And I think lastly is adaptability and problem solving abilities to ensure they can manage challenges quickly and smoothly, because the turnaround makes a huge difference, right? And I think these qualities foster collaboration, ensures alignment, and help deliver seamless and globally connected TA experience for them. Because I have the many examples where global leaders, they hesitate to share new requirements to any regions because they really don't know the market. They're worried about our ability to attract the same quality talent in other regions. So it's so critical for us to really communicate about our region and our ability to solve problems. The moment you say that, oh, this particular skill is very hard to find, probably they not stop giving those requirements to India, right? They may give that requirement to somewhere else, so they may hire in other regions. I think these are few things I personally believe may help for the global leaders.
Right, absolutely. I was actually coming to my, the next question, which you already covered as a third point, which talks about culture and the time zone and managing different stakeholders. So, very well said, Puneet. Now, according to you, Puneet, what is the biggest mistake you have seen these mid-career recruiters make?
Yeah. Just to add one more point for the previous question, Shambhu, I think is equally important is effective communication and synchronization. I think this means establishing clear channels, setting expectation upfront is very, very important. As I said, is a proactive, not reactive. And being mindful of the zone differences, time zone differences, right? To ensure timely updates and feedback. Because what I realized is I was in US for good 10 years. Unless the more communication coming from my regional leaders, I'm in dark. I really don't know. So I'm always in assumption. End of the day, I'm accountable to interact with senior most leaders in the organization. Yes. It's one of the reasons that effective communication is critical. Synchronization is critical. Emphasizing transparency and maintaining regular touch points and being flexible to accommodate varying schedules, because each time zones are different, and we need to build trust, I think, and keep process moving smoothly, in my perspective. Sorry to interrupt there.
No, absolutely. But it's so relevant, you as a leader, waiting for the regional offices to feed in. And if communication is broken, then the whole hiring process actually goes out of hand.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
So, what have you seen, these mid-career recruiters making the biggest mistakes?
I think, in my view, becoming too process driven and losing sight of the candidate and hiring manager experience. They often focus heavily on metrics and efficiency. I'm saying that's important. Metrics are equally important. But forget that recruitment is fundamentally about relationships, right? I think building trust and understanding needs. Because also pressure, because, when, in my experience, whenever you get the requirements, the first question, how quickly you can onboard these resources. Recruiters are yet to start sourcing, but the first question for them. So that's one of the reason most of them heavily focus on metrics, right? Is important. But I think, in my view, critical is our ability to build focus around experience and relationships. And if they shifted the mindset to see each interaction as an opportunity to genuinely connect, listen, and value add, I think very important. It's not about we are paper pushers. We are all qualified TA professionals. right? We need somebody who can also think and add value in the process is also good. They could immediately improve engagement and outcomes in my perspective, because when you deal with your key stakeholders, they may not really look at the number of profiles. They will look at what value you can add in the entire process to a hiring manager or bringing the right talent to the organization. And also, I think prioritizing empathy, active listening, and relationship building can transform their effectiveness. So why I'm calling it out, especially active listening and empathy and relationship building, because we are so busy finding talent and closing, we really don't have time to sometimes even listen what they're saying. I think in my perspective, we need to really prioritize empathy. We'd really prioritize, because we are always in a pressure, right? And we always really focus around active listening and relationship building, and leading to better hires. And I think that's really going to help to build a stronger stakeholder partnerships, and something that is instantly fixable with a simple mindset shift.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Puneet, you really touched a very important subject of the whole experience thing, which is very close to my heart. So on one side you have hiring manager, the other side you have a candidate, and of
Right.
course there is a corporate process. So it's very, very important to get the experience right on both the sides to have a memorable hiring experience and onboarding of a stellar candidate. So,
Right.
very, very well covered, Puneet. Now, Puneet, when you look at your own past teams, and when you hired these kind of mid-career TA professionals, what qualities did you look personally into them?
I mean, prioritize strong communication skills, both listening and articulating clearly, um, and emotional intelligence to build genuine relationships with candidates and stakeholders. I also value adaptability and resilience, especially in a fast changing environment. As well as, I think, proactive mindset, because taking initiative rather than waiting for instructions, because nobody has the time to remind what you're supposed to do, right? You need somebody who's proactive, take initiative for the organization. I think above all, integrity and authenticity are essential, because trust is the foundation of successful recruitment. A recruiter with these qualities not only delivers results, but also creates a positive experience that reflects well on the organization. Because is important is everyone should realize we are representing the company. We have unique opportunity to represent. We are the first people to represent the organization, so we have bigger responsibility and accountability to do the right thing for candidates, as well as for hiring managers or business leaders. Probably there's a few things I really look at while building my own team.
Got it. Not, yeah, no, they are quite relevant in today's world, and especially the whole thing around trust, authenticity, and transparency.
Yeah.
And Puneet, one thing I really appreciate about you talking again and again is, communication is not about your articulation skills alone. It is about your listening skills as well.
Correct.
So,
Yes.
yeah, so when you stress communication skills, you are saying always that it is listening and articulation, both go hand in hand.
Right.
Excellent, excellent. So, Puneet, now, what do you think is the future of recruitment? And what skills you think would be essential in coming years for these mid-career TA professionals?
Yes, it's an interesting time right now, Shambhu. I think the future of recruitment is likely to be increasingly data-driven, technology-enabled, and candidate-centric, right? AI, analytics, and automation will continue to streamline processes, no doubt about that. And that will help recruiters to focus on more strategic engagement and relationship building. However, human skills will remain crucial in my view.
At the core.
Absolutely. And emotional intelligence, empathy, strong communication will be more important than ever because as candidates seek authentic connections and personalized experiences, even in product, you realize that a lot of product they develop focus around personalized experiences because there are many choices today, right? I think that is critical. And other one is I think adaptability and continuous learning will be also vital because given how quickly technology and market dynamics evolve, it's very interesting. Like, you know, probably till last year we're talking about AI skills, profile matching, everything done through AI. Now, in my view, profile matching is not good enough because today even candidates are using AI
Yeah.
to make sure the profile is matching the job description. So it's impossible for even profile matching, the recruiter start talking to them. So if you look at now, a lot of companies come up with AI conversational assessment. So I think things are changing much faster. I think in my view, it's essential for adaptability and continuous learning. Ultimately, successful recruiters of the future will be those who blend cutting edge technology with genuine human insights to create truly exceptional talent journey. Right? The talent journey may start from identify or engage, or sometimes what happens is we hire for the future. We may nurture and convert, not necessarily engage and hire them. I think the whole journey is a blend of technology and human intervention, in my perspective, human insights.
Right. And Puneet, I really liked your point, engage and nurture, not
Yeah.
about engaging and just jumping to hiding just to the conclusion. No, that's so well said. So thank you so much, Puneet. I had a few takeaway from this discussion, and I'm sure all these mid-career TA professionals will also take away many things from your 3 decades of working experience, especially at PayPal, Adobe, and LinkedIn, where you were leading the talent function at the global level. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. My pleasure, Shambhu.